Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I do any other videos, I want to quickly explain the nature of a book review. When you put together a book review, there are a few things that you have to do. First, you want to take note of the book's bibliographic information. This includes the author's full name, the title of the book, whether or not the book is part of a series, the city or region that the publisher is located in, the name of the publisher, and the year it was published. By taking note of this information, you can begin to gauge the book's credibility and whether or not it might be outdated. The next thing you want to do is identify the author's thesis or main argument or theme. Now, this is usually expressed in the first chapter of the book. Unfortunately, some authors have a hard time stating their argument outright. If you find this is true of the book you're reading, there is a good chance that the argument isn't even clear to the author, and reading the book could be quite a trial. Here's a tip though. Sometimes reading the conclusion immediately after you read the introduction can help you identify the thesis, because for some reason, authors sometimes have a better sense of their argument by the time they write the conclusion than when they wrote the introduction. The next thing you want to do, while you're reading, you want to take note of how the author builds their argument or constructs the main theme. You also want to pay close attention to how they describe things, how they interpret facts, and what opinions they express. If it's good scholarship, the author's bias should be explicitly stated, but when it isn't, you'll probably get a general sense of this bias as you read through the book. You'll probably want to take notes while you read. Summarize the thesis and the main point of each chapter to get a sense of how the argument is constructed. Also write down interesting facts or ideas that you come across to help you remember them. The next thing you want to do, either as you read or after you've completed the book, is to consider the book in relation to the other work in the field. Admittedly, this is difficult to do if you haven't read much on the subject, but reading some other book reviews can give you some hints, and often the author will explicitly state how their work is different from the other work that has been done on the subject. Now, once you've done these things, you should have obtained enough data to form a concise summary and critique of the book. Now, at this juncture, there are two important points I want to make. First, these days the terms critique or critical are widely misunderstood, and for most people these terms bear a negative connotation. Have you ever heard someone say, "Don't be so critical of me"? Then you know what I mean. In the academy, and I might add in the original use of these terms, this negative connotation did not exist. Rather, a critique was understood to be an evaluation of a piece of scholarship based largely on objective standards, such as the clarity of thought, cogency of the argument, use of facts, adherence to a critical apparatus, which is just a system of documentation for footnotes, for example, and the ability to combine all these into a readable and engaging book. This is what I mean by critique. If you are being critical, you are thinking critically. This is good. And at one point in the not-so-distant past, this was one of the goals of post-secondary education in Canada. Today, however, it is a different story. Anyways, I digress. My second point that is important to note is that I am acting as a Christian scholar, which might not be a surprise since I am studying Canadian church history. And as a Christian scholar, I value charity. By this I mean forming a critique in charitable terms that does not disparage the writer's work and summarizes their work accurately, concisely, and kindly. With these 2 points in mind, you can put together a review that identifies and summarizes the author's argument or theme, how they build that argument or theme, and the strengths and weakness of that scholarship, and the relation of the book to other books on the subject. So I hope this has been helpful for those of you who don't know or didn't know what a book review is. And now you kind of understand what I'll be doing in the following videos that I make about the books that I'm reading. So if you found this helpful and you're interested in more, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Thanks, guys.